What's up, guys? We're here with Jordan. Jordan, tell them what they're supposed to do.
Four things. Train jiu-jitsu every day.
Yeah.
Second thing, keep training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's a good
Third
one.
thing, stretch a little bit.
Stretch, yeah.
Fourth thing, avoid injuries.
Yeah. Be like Jordan, stretch, train, do all these nice things, and like, share, subscribe. Happy Pill channel, Happy Pill program, Happy Pill project. Yeah.
Happy Pill project.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu saves lives.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, we'll do it one more time. Yo, guys, we're here with Jordan. Jordan, tell them the 4 things we're supposed to do.
Subscribe to the Happy Pill project.
Yeah.
Train jiu-jitsu every day.
Train jiu-jitsu every day.
Smash that like button.
Smash like.
Avoid injuries.
Avoid injuries, smash the like button, train jiu-jitsu every day, and subscribe. Happy Pill Project, Jordan.
Had been working, throwing a person up, and then taking a leg. So I want to vary the variations on it. This is what I mean. So I'm going to ask you to just pair this up with one thing. So you got these elbow grabs, and this is where you are, okay? And I'm going to ask you only because I want you to start reading where he lands instead of just worrying about this one move. So in the first one, I'm not going to ask you to take him over. I just want you to lift him. I'll explain right now. So you're like this, and now you're going to pull him, and we land like this, right? And I said to you, wow, this would be a really far transfer. How would I get this leg to here? So he lands like this, and I told you the only thing I want you to do at this point when he lands is just latch yourself up to him, okay? And then I'm going to ask you to take one leg out. So all you're going to do is extend one and isolate the shoulder, and that's all you're going to do, okay? And then we had so many variations off of this, so that's all I'm asking you to do on that one, okay? But the next time, on move number 2, we're going to bring him up a little bit higher, okay? So we throw him up a little bit higher, and we're like this, okay? So the other day, I had you do this. I had you push this leg out, throw this leg over into a reaping set, and then start making the rotation to shell this kneecap, shell the ankle on the far side, and finish the heel hook, right? But I'm going to change it a little bit. Because right now, what you just saw me do, I had a hard time bringing the reaping leg over. So I'm going to flip it so that I can get the reaping leg over. So we're going to land it just exactly the same, okay? So you just saw what I did a second ago, and I'll show it again. I went like this, I threw him up, and I'm like this, and I'm pushing him out, and now this leg is having a hard time coming over, okay? So I'm going to ask you to change it up. We're going to push him out, but I'm going to underscoop this leg, and I'm going to switch this to an X to straighten him out even further. Obviously, we could absolutely try to come up on a reversal, but I'm going to ask you now to take the bottom hooking leg, take it out, and push him out even further so I straighten him out. At this point, I'm going to ask you now to start changing this to a knee bar for a second. Okay, so this is how we're looking. I'm going to cross my legs this way. You can cross them this way. I would prefer to cross them this way because I want to stop this back step so that I can finish this knee bar. They're going to show you a lot of different grips. You're supposed to grab it like this. You're supposed to grab it like this. Sometimes you can't switch your hands. After so many years, I've seen so many different grips on how you're supposed to grip this. The one thing you don't want to do is lose the rotation of the kneecap because I'm trying to control this. So I'm trying to bury it tight to my face and hold on to this ankle because I don't want, the only thing I can really do, I can grab it here, but I don't, if I'm super wet and slippery, he's going to change the rotation of the kneecap, which isn't the end of the world, because I can always shove it down and then hike it up underneath again. So it's not the end of the world, okay? So I'm going to ask you at this point that you're flipping it this way. I'm going to ask you to limit the rotation of the foot because I don't want the kneecap to change its position. Right now the kneecap is facing my sternum and facing into my belly line. So I'm going to grab this on tight and try to shelve it so that I can grab onto it. How I grip it, I don't know. Once I've increased the tension that I can't turn, then I can switch to both of them coming over the top to start arching and breaking. Okay, let's go back again. There's a couple of things that I see happening in the room also. No matter where, right, no matter where this goes, whether he turns in or out, as long as I stay above the knee line, I have some form of an attack on the foot. Okay, whether it's inside and outside, doesn't make a difference, okay? So what I see some people doing is worrying so much about the foot and not worrying about the bite above the knee line this way, okay? So he did everything exactly the same, right? The only thing different is I don't feel comfortable coming underneath because how he landed, his legs are so wide on me, right? So when I threw him, I went like this. His legs are like this, and I'm going, holy shit, man, there's no way at this point that I'm gonna back it up a little bit, keep these legs a little tighter, and I'm like this, and he's coming up. This is different, that I can push this out and now start reaping this over and taking this leg. This is a little bit different. I threw him up, and it is super wide. So I pushed this leg out and I underscooped this way. As I push this leg out, I'm on an X. Am I gonna fight to come up? Depends on the tournament. Right now we're working leg locks. I wanna straighten him out. I wanna cross as high up on that way of the knee line as possible, because no matter where eighth, and whether my grip is this way or that way, eighth back step, right? I'm here on this, come back again. Back step the other way. Right? And don't turn the other way, like if you wanted to turn backwards, right? He's turning this. Okay, so I'm on this side of the ankle. No matter what, my grip stays on that side of the kneecap. We'll go through variations as the weeks come by, depending on how he flips on me. But right now, I just want to make it a priority that I don't lose the knee line. He wants to get the knee line out. I want to keep my figure 4 on that side of the knee line, okay? So one more time. Everything's exactly the same. But I'm going to ask you now that we pair them up. So when I was my first move is this. I come up, I'm here. He's not all the way up. So why would I come reaching all the way under here? He's not there, right? So my first reaction is I pick him up. I drop him. I got my grip, right? I'm on my second one. He comes high. I go, oh, okay. Right away, I underscoop. Let's go slow. I'm like this. He comes up so high, I'm going, oof, I don't want him to clear my knee lines. So I stabilize one so it doesn't come over. I don't let him butterfly or pummel over. So I stabilize one. My secondary hand is going to scoop. I control this leg right now with two things, with this instep and this hand. This hand's coming underneath so that when I push out, I want to take my secondary foot and lace it through. Now I control that I can drop this guy, right? So when I drop this guy, I can decide where I want to go. On this one, I'm going to straighten him out. So now I still have the leg. Obviously, I'm not letting go of the leg. If he backsteps, my feet are coming this way, but we kept it this way. Keep it straight, A, for a second. I'm like this. So I'm going to ask you at this point, once I straighten them out, to bring the legs this way. So the leg is going to cross over. I'm going to figure 4 that leg, and now I'm going to control this ankle so that the foot doesn't spin on me so I don't lose the kneecap. As soon as I am here, I am arching in for the kneecap to break it. If he backsteps or turns around, backstep this way. Okay. As he backsteps, I can take it from this position, lace over, and now arch. I will tell you a terrible story. There was a gentleman in here. Yeah, I'll tell you. It's a true story. Yeah. There was a gentleman here that was years ago. It was a different player. He was very aggressive, very protective of the academy. I still am. There was a gentleman that came in here, taught a different martial art, dressed up like a ninja, had all these black outfits, whatever. Came in, he was not a small guy, and was really, really aggressive in beating up the blue belts and not being a nice person. That's a true story. So remember the other day, allegedly, yeah. Okay, remember the other day I also went the other way, right? Where I said I threw him up in the air, and I went like this, and I went, oh, and I went this way, right? The other day I went like this, and I pushed him out, and I straightened him out, and I was back on the same grip again, right? So we're going to combo them up to go left and right. Right now we're only going this way, okay? But the reason I want to make it, because I want to mix them up so your read and reactions go quicker, that where are his hands? I'm reading his hands right away. Like I'm not even thinking about move. I'm going, where did you put your hands? Where did you put your hands? Because the moment the hands touch, that's your first read. So right away, he's not on thumb grips, wanted to grab my head and do all these things. I'm coming underneath, and now I'm lifting up. And now I don't know how he's going to land. I don't know how deep I'm going to get because there's a couple of things that are going to occur. I wanted to hike him up, but I also wanted to slide myself underneath. And now I don't know when I slide myself under, where's he landing? Man, he's really far up, and he's not floating. So my reaction right now on this land is this. Stop this, underhook this, push this out, get my secondary butterfly in. Take this loud, straighten this out. Now I go left or right. I don't know. Right now, I switch it this way because I feel his pitch coming this way. So as he backsteps, I want to shove this guy this way. So either I go onto the heel, or I finish it here, or I put it behind my shoulder again, right? Depending on how he rotates. So the one I did earlier, I had it on this side, and eighth backstep, right? And I'm like this, trying to crank it. So I placed it behind my elbow to arch it and really take it apart. Let's partner up. Let's do it. I'm just going to point out things that I would love for you to see you do, okay? You did the toe hold on him. Perfect. Okay. So we were explaining, like, and then over the course of the coming weeks, like, we'll get into like all little things where they move 4 inches this way, that way. So Sai did everything exactly the same, right? Mom comes underneath, comes under there. It's okay. So there's a couple of things that matter. Come back 1 second for me. The pattern matters in how you switch your feet. And I pointed out to Jared a second ago, when you first threw him up, right? You're only as good as your weakest length, right? So side blocks here, okay, and then under scoops here, right? So before you go here, right? This is your contacts here. You have 2. So you always had a reinforcement. This is your free leg to figure out where you're going to hunt, because potentially you may turn over on this leg later, right? Potentially. Right now we're not there yet, okay? So this is your position. So now this is your leg that's laces in here, because I want to release this hook to straighten you out to take this leg. So now Sai's going to push away hard. That frees that bottom leg. And now you made him unathletic. Now he's got a choice. He's either going to go left or right, depending how he's pitching. Right now I had you going this way, right? So you went this way. This sometimes will be here. There's nothing you could do about it. I would have preferred for it to be up here because I didn't want him backstepping. So there's no way in the world that you're going to tell me that high-level player feels his knee about to pop. It's not. It's almost heels a little bit different because heels like go like this. Kneecaps are like foot locks. That the pain goes and it starts to increase very rapidly. So a guy kind of gauges what he has time-wise. So if you're under this right here, there's no way he's not going to backstep. Doesn't mean you can't finish it, because at this point, Sai's going to put it underneath he's going to finish it that way, or potentially he's going to start trying to figure out how he can shelve the heel under there. So let's go back. We'll deal with that later. I would have preferred this, right? So then when he's trying to backstep, Sai can follow the backstep and finish him regardless. So he never got the foot to the other side to make the full rotation. Come back again. Now if the foot's here and you're saying, man, I couldn't freaking break this guy's kneecap, and I'm in a position where I don't feel comfortable shelving it underneath because my back's on the mat and now I can't overarch and all these things, right? Also, if you want to feel the tension on the kneecap, just tell me, because I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but you know, like sometimes when you feel it, like when you feel the move and you're like, oh, that feels different, okay? So what I would love to do at this point is to push this down, hold this as tight, and arch off of him into that kneecap. Arch, okay? Now, come back up, Dan, right? So we're going to vary it now. You're like this, and you're telling me, damn, I couldn't get the arch, I couldn't pop. Why don't we switch it to a toe hold? Switch it to a toe hold, sorry. That's all you did. And now you're cranking this thing to bend it and put his toes into between his, you know, you want to say, his glory hole, whatever you want to call it, okay? Basically, you're trying to put those toes as deep in there, and that's a toe hold, and now Danny's trying to backstep, and now you're having a hard time because you got to increase that tension to rip that ankle apart, okay? So now we have a variation that we're going to do. Let's go back again, right? So I'm going to ask you to still do the first one where you floated them out so that you start combining the 2 moves, that they're the same moves, the same entries. They're just taking it from a different point depending on how high he comes up. So we would have loved to have done this. Not the end of the world if we go the other way, because the other way has some good things too. But we'd have loved to come here, okay? So on the first one, if for some reason he backsteps and my leg's like this, I'm going to try to arch and still finish, or put the leg behind my elbow. Yeah, and now that's a devastating one, okay? On the second one, come back. We're going to stop his backstep, and we're going to say, damn, I couldn't really do anything about this. I did everything right. I'm above the knee line, but I'm going to switch it. Remember, my hands were here. Dan, can you lay down for a second so everybody can see it on that side, right? So my hand comes here, just like that overwrap, and I start making this switch. So I had minimal movement on that. Never let go of the Achilles tendon, right? Everything was tight, stayed above the knee line, right? And now, go back 1 second. This is where he was, exactly like that, right? He held a position. He started lacing his hand over to the toes. He locked his hands up, and now he's cranking it that way, okay? So let's partner up and do it again.